People. Que pasa, sapa, say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the meds. Call it news with a buzz. If Jamaica is not one of the worst places in the world, or even the worst place in the world, when it comes to protecting the most vulnerable in society, meaning women, elderly people, and even Wasara, little picnic. This incident that occurred in a place called Lucy, Hanover, will be confirmation or affirm what most people think about Jamaica. It is full of barbaric monsters. There's a young lady, her name is Nikita Noel, 9-year-old. She left the comfort of her home, left her mother, and she went to school in the morning like she always do. She walked through a trail, she go to school, she leaves school, and she come back. The mother became very suspicious when hours beat, that means the hours pass, and she not see the little pitney. She went to the power station and she filed a report based on what other persons were saying. When she was coming back home from school, she and a little boy, the people them said them hear some sorts of screaming at the bushes. The little boy had left. And then when the power put out some sorts of search and rescue, they found the body of this little 9-year-old in some bush parts off of the trail that she usually walk. That means some sorts of predator drag her off. Not only did he drag her off, he did some very despicable things to her. When she was found, based on preliminary autopsy, it looked like the monster jumped over our fence. It looked like the monster, strangled her. However, the good news, if there's any sorts of good news, is that this monster is now in the custody of the Popo. Within a couple of hours of finding that young girl's body, them find the suspect. Here's the thing about the whole thing. It is said that he is somebody that is known to the family. I am not going to say a family friend, because friends don't do that to their friends' children or people where them know. When we see stuff like this happening, it is usually somebody that knows you or know the child. And why they do what they do, not to justify it, just to say, psychoanalyze the way that these morons, these predators think, is that even if I jump over this fence, which I should not because of the age, and I should not because it is totally illegal to violate any sort of woman, regardless of the age. She might go tell the family. They might go tell the Popo. And you understand the repercussion in the jungle, the type of Tarzan and Jane and the little monkey that could come back. I might have to go do some sort of time. However, people know that it is always going to be some sort of person that the family knows or knows the family. Some people in the neighborhood where people kind of suspect for a long time. Here's the thing about a lot of places in Jamaica. Residents have people who live around them. Them sister these people are move like some sorts of PERVERT, some sorts of petty. However, them just overlook it. Jamaicans are the most nonchalant set of people that have ever known. Them not take nothing serious. They are always reactive instead of proactive. Truth be told, a lot of these people walking around mad men in a clean clothes or dirty clothes, whatever you want to call it. People know say them head not right. People know say them can't do anything. Them can kick off anytime. However, until something happen, because people just watch. More than likely, this was not because of any sorts of intense investigation by the po-po. A people in the neighborhood probably say, or in the community probably say, I wonder if a Jimmy do it, or I wonder if a Tony, I wonder if a Rick. Because them know say Rick have that sorts of mentality, that sorts of MO. However, until something like this happen, them not gonna do nothing. We have to blame the relevant authority, not meaning directly, but me just say. Some of these people that you see, they are not supposed to be amongst the average regular citizens of any sorts of community. They have mental issue. Them have anger management problem. They can just EXPLODE or flip. Them chip can get licked any moment, and whenever that happens, this is what can happen or even worse. Well, me don't know how it can get worse, but you get the point that I am trying to make. Now, based on what the ACP, Assistant Commissioner of Popo for the era, his name is Clifford Chambers, is saying, this suspect is held. This suspect supposed to have some sorts of question and answer session with some sorts of lawyer. If he is mentally able, if he is sane. So therefore, they are putting him away. Protective service, protective custody, sorry. Now people, when you hear stuff like this, and you have community that lost one of their own, a little young picnic, 9-year-old, primary school student, no live no sort of life yet, innocent as a day where she born, and then some sort of monster like this do something like that allegedly if he is actually guilty, and then the po put him up for safekeeping, the average person is going to say, why feed him to the wolves? However, people, you understand, whenever you live in a civilized society, they always say, leave it up to law enforcement to solve it and get justice for the family. Justice for this little victim. However, if you ask most Jamaicans, average Jamaican, what would their choice be for justice for this man? They would tell you it is not protective service. It is the polar opposite. It is the Tarzan and Jane and the little monkey sort of thing. Point blank and period. Now the next thing that is popping in the news is an update about a story that I spoke about. It is about a man that lost his life yesterday. He got taken out in an obvious contract, Killing. His name is Huan Darling. Now when this man lost his life, persons are wondering, persons are pondering, how is it that a legitimate businessman, a man that troubles nobody, lost his life? It is not as if he is some sort of gangster, some sort of smuggler. He might chop the line. This man, Mr. Darling, he is the director of a top architecture company known as Virtuoso Architecture. He is a major developer. He is a part of most of these buildings, first class that you see going up. He has famous clients such as USAIN Bolt. Remember, USAIN Bolt has some sorts of building that he recently, maybe a couple of years ago, built. This man is said to be the architect and possibly even USAIN Bolt's home. This man is known for building Fontana that is on Waterloo, 20 South, enough apartment complexes, Bert's Auto Part in a St. James, Montego Bay. He is a pioneer in the architecture landscape in Jamaica. So people are say, then hold on a minute. If me there Jamaica, and me just a do business, me nah trouble nobody, me nah chop the line. How me gonna lose my life? However, there are a couple of things that persons are saying. Based on some article in the newspaper, it is said that his fast growth in the industry might have led to him losing his life. So therefore, people are say a bad mind. It is also said that he has a whole bunch of contracts with China Harbor. So you know, say, if you as an architect gets hired by these companies that don't like our sort of people, that means that your qualification is way out there, and this man is the best of them worldwide. However, based on what me hear upon the streets, now people remember, whatever you hear on the street, it is not always 100% proof. However, something in a something, like them say, wherever there is smoke, there is also fire. Based on the information that I heard, possibly, is that this man was in some sorts of real estate deal with somebody for some sorts of property that he owned in Norbrook. This contract was in the middle, meaning that the people get some sorts of money. They paid him based on what he said that he was selling the property for. However, it seems as if he started to get some more offers. So therefore, based on what is said out there allegedly, he wanted to turn down the offer that was on contract. And people, in a democratic society in real estate, as the owner of any sorts of property, you can do that. It is not ethical or moral business practice as any sorts of realtor, but people can change them mind. Now what happens in Jamaica, like no other ordinary democratic society, people start forgetting them feelings. People get attached. People have plans for things. So therefore, whenever they are disappointed, they get emotional to the point that they want to do somebody something. People like me say, this is word on the street. It is not 100% proof. It is my duty to tell you what I hear. And whenever me hear something, usually based on my reputation, something goes so or it close. However, people, the truth and the fact is that, like I said, you can change your mind. But if somebody signed for something, it is not good business practice. And remember, Jamaica is a type of place that if you diss people, they would rather to make sure that you DIE than to take any sorts of diss. Now when we think about property in Norbrook, we are going to say, but are just some white collar people, are just some uptown people, are just some brown people. No, people, that is not true. All of these communities that you see in Jamaica have the good and the bad. Them have the uptown thief, them have the downtown riffraff posing because them have their money from wherever means. Some of it legitimate and some of it, most of it, not so legitimate. A lot of these people have all sorts of background that is in some sorts of illicit business. So therefore, the uptown and the downtown criminals, they mix together in one society. And they live in that society, whether it's Norbrook, whether it's Cherry Garden, it is reality. However, people, it is wrong. It is wrong for you to take away somebody because of some sorts of business deal gone wrong. Especially if the person give you back your money, give you back your deposit. And people, if we are following what the street is saying is true, more than likely this person get back their money, but them just I say, listen, I'm going to teach him a lesson. So people, like me tell you, it is said because of jealousy, he was the fast rising star in the architecture, building, development, real estate thing. Or you think say it is because of some sorts of bad deal gone wrong. Most persons that are architects are in that business. Yeah, they might have some sorts of jealousy. Yeah, they might carry some sorts of feeling. Yeah, them realize everybody gravitate to this man as a pioneer in the architecture thing. So therefore, yeah, they might have some feelings, but would they go to the extent of taking him out in such a cold and callous way? Consider the people that are buying all sorts of property in Jamaica right now. The riffraff them, the people that make their money by illicit means. Whenever you cross them, they are going to go by the rules of the street, meaning that they are going to eliminate any sorts of obstacle. And the sad reality about Jamaica is that when people do this, they don't understand the domino negative effect that it has. This man have pitney. This man have a wife or girlfriend, as you see in the pictures in the screen, on the screen. People, it is sad. It is a sad reality in Jamaica. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like this, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Bless up.